Hello class, I got an email from a student who's trying to make a pattern, but when they were applying the offset filter, they were ending up with things they weren't expecting. There were artifacts and lines and such that they didn't know what was going on there. Remember how I said to make sure that you didn't have pixels off screen inside the working space here that you couldn't see? And I demonstrated to use the crop tool to stretch out and see what's going on, and that you could use the crop tool to delete cropped pixels. Well, I also said not to use smart objects, but that was in passing early on. And let me show you why. Here's a quick demonstration file. It just has a background layer and a smart object. And inside the smart object, you can see that we've got just 4 dots and nothing else going on in there. Let me close that. Let's say that I came in here and cropped this down, and that I told it to delete cropped pixels, and I just tell it okay. So those pixels are gone, right? Wrong, because smart objects protect whatever is inside of it. And so if I applied an offset filter, it would be applied as a smart filter. Let me just go to Filter, Other, Offset, and you can see we're getting those dots. And the reason is, and if we came in, even more fun, if we came in here, you'd see everything appearing and in a somewhat unexpected way. It's applying things to the content of the smart object rather than the layer itself. So don't use smart objects when you're doing this. It's just going to cause you pain and problems. So let's take a look at what's happening with this. We can see that it's a smart object, but worse, as we go in, it's smart object inside of smart object inside of smart objects inside of smart objects, which may remind you of a Matryoshka doll, these little Russian nesting dolls that you've got going on here. You don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is pop back to the original document here. Cancel, there we go. The original document. Photoshop will allow me. And all I'm going to do is this. Looks like they wanted transparent. That's fine. I'm going to make a layer below it, and I'm just going to merge down. Control E. Great. Now it's not a smart object. So now if I do a filter, other, offsets, it will actually apply the offset. And from here, I can track down any area that is has little broken patterns in it, and I can do repairs that way. And it looks like it's actually pretty good. I see a little bit of it. Let's bring it up a bit. We can see some stuff going on in there. But now that it's no longer a smart object, it should behave as we expect, and we should be able to clean it up from there. Another way you could do it, if I step back a couple of times, is just right click on this in the gray area here, and I can tell it to rasterize the layer, and voila, now I don't have to do any merge tricks or anything like that. Now it's ready to be offset and it's ready to be corrected. So just don't do smart objects and you'll be in the clear. This was pretty well done. You can see a little broken area right here, right in there. So one way you could handle this if you wanted to is just to actually come in and remove the eyeballs that are busted up and just copy a clean one from elsewhere, right? Control C, Control V, Control T to transform. And now I could come in with this unbroken one, and I could just put it where the busted up one was. And I can do that again and again for any of the areas that have these broken lines. And once that's done, it will be a repeating pattern and it will be good to go. And remember, don't forget, before you repeat it, I like to do the Control-Alt-Shift-E, which creates a new duplicate layer at the very top of everything that was below it. That way you don't lose your original working stuff in case you need to make any adjustments. Then once you've done that, you can go up to Edit and Define Pattern, and you can create your pattern right there. Once you've got a pattern, you can just make a larger document. Same process as I showed you guys in the videos. Let me go ahead and just make this inches. We could do like 12 inches by 12 inches. Tell it okay, and then from there, I can just go to the adjustment layer and fill it with a pattern. And then you'd select your pattern, and then you can check it for any problem areas that need to be worked on. Come back over to the original here, and then go back down and keep working on it until everything's patched up. And you're good to go. That's all there is to it. So in this case, watch out, don't use the smart objects. Just make copies. Control-Shift-E is a great way to do that. It's the same thing as holding down the Alt key when you do the merge on here. Oh, I'm not on a... Here we go. I need to be on one of those guys. Somewhere in here is the flatten image. Holding down the Alt key while you do that creates a duplicate of the flattened image at the top. That's all that Control Alt Shift E is. Okay, I hope that helps. Remember, this is due Saturday at 11:59 p.m., so that's just before midnight. If you have any questions, email me. I'll be happy to take a look at whatever you're working on and do a little video on what's happening and what to do on that. Okay, hopefully the power outages didn't affect you all too badly, and I will see you next class. Or you'll be seeing these videos next class, I suppose. Talk to you soon.